Hey everyone, this is Jenny with Absolutely Handmade. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I hope you guys are super excited about today's crafts. We're going to do several upcycles in time for the Christmas season, and they're all going to cost under $3. So none of them even hit the $3 mark. This is amazing, guys. If you are a crafter doing craft fairs, or if you're looking for some inexpensive ways to dress up your house or gifts to give friends, then stay tuned. Also, watch for an update kind of mid video, as well as a new foster video announcement. I don't know what you want to call it towards the end. We got some new foster babies about 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to show you guys a quick snip of the video. But for now, let's jump into it. First, we're going to make these adorable snowmen spring things. I don't even know what you want to call them. Little decor you can set around your house. I did these last year. They sold really well. I bought the bed springs off of eBay, and with shipping, I got them 20 of them for $30. So they roughly came out to about $1.50 a piece. And then the little snowman heads are from Dollar Tree, obviously $1.25. So this craft, they cost $2.75 each. You're just going to take and set that little snowman inside of the spring, and I just kind of twisted it until it sat the way I wanted it to. And there is kind of a method to the madness. The springs tend to sit kind of tilted, so you're going to set the head in there, and you kind of want to tilt him up so that he's looking out and kind of at you when he's sitting flat on the table or whatever it is you're setting him on. Fireplace, hearth. Fireplace is kind of a sore subject right now. It's still not painted. You guys, I'm going to get the thing painted. I promise. It's going to go together. It's going to happen. So anyways, here we're just taking some hot glue first, and we're going to tack these little snowmen on. And this video is sped up ×2. So I'm not just squeezing the glue on there and then setting them right down. I'm kind of giving them a second to let the glue set. It's super hot glue, super hot glue. And I didn't want it to run down the backs of their heads, so gave it a minute. Now we're going to go back with the Gorilla Glue in clear. This one takes a while to dry, but it's a lot more of a permanent adhesion. So we just want to take and put that. I just squeezed a little line of it right above where I had put the hot glue, so that if the hot glue kind of gives out, then this is kind of our backup. You can see there, I'm just kind of squeezing it along that top line in the back behind, like we're underneath the brim, so you can't see it. They end up looking super clean. You can't really see the glue, even though they're kind of open with the whole spring. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's not even that late. I'm just exhausted. Now we're using that same Gorilla Glue, just putting a little bit of it on the back of the button. And then you can't see because I've got to get my camera situation figured out a little bit. I squirted just a little bit of hot glue on the back of it as well to give it that quick hold, long-term hold. So the Gorilla Glue is going to hold it for the foreseeable future. And the hot glue is just something to kind of hold it quickly so that you can go ahead and attach it and give it that Gorilla Glue time to dry. Aren't they cute? So we just go through and glue the buttons on each one of them. I'm not going to bore you guys doing this on repeat, but I did it to all 6 of them. All 6 of the little heads are connected. All 6 of them got their buttons, and you're going to see them here in just a second in the final reveal. I did have to fight with 1 or 2 of the buttons. They were a little bit heavier because you can see on the mat there to the left of that little snowman head that I'm working on, I ended up stacking some of my buttons. So I put a little blue button inside of a little black button. And even with these buttons, guys, the buttons are negligible as far as cost. They probably cost a penny or a couple of pennies because I bought like a whole jar of them from, I think it was Walmart or Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby or something like that. They weren't very expensive. I have a whole slew of buttons. So you just find 2 matching ones or find 2 coordinating ones. They don't have to match. I like the matching. I'm a little bit more type A when it comes to this kind of stuff, but you can see here we just attached all the buttons to each one of the little snowmen. I did some that were just plain red, so they were a little bit less busy for people who like the plain and simple. I did the little checkered for a little bit more dressed up, the double buttons. Just kind of gave them each their own little individual look and personality. And I love the springs. And I left, I don't know if you can see it or not on some of these, but you can actually see the fuzzy stuff left over on the spring. So that's whatever the guts were inside the mattress that they came from, is still kind of left on some of those hooks and twists. And those things are rusted. Obviously, don't cut yourself on them. Okay, so this one we're going to use the salt shakers and the pepper grinder with the Alchemy by Fusion in birch, the Arteza paint, acrylic paint marker. This is just an orange. I didn't catch which color it was. And this is one of those paint markers you get at Walmart, just in a craft out in black. These brushes I've got linked in the description box below. They're some of my favorite brushes to craft with. They're pretty dense. It's like it's not the boar's hair. I like those too, but this is more of, it's like a fake bristle. I can't think of what it's called right this second. But anyways, we're using that to put this limestone chalk-based alchemy paint. I'm really liking this stuff. It sticks to just about everything. It's very similar to a chalk paint, like the Waverly's and things like that, but it's got a really soft finish to it. So it's got a really cool texture when you're done. And it glues well. It distresses well. I've got a couple more of the jars still in stock. I didn't get a ton of it. And y'all know I've been struggling to get my Fusion from Canada to Phoenix. It's just taken some effort. I've gotten 2 shipments in the last 2 months, and both of them ran late. One of them actually got shipped back to Fusion. I felt really bad. Okay, so then we're going to use the orange paint pen. We're just going to draw a little note or a little carrot on him. Aren't they cute? We made the set. Oh, and that's something else I forgot to tell you. So the little snowman springs, I'm going to sell for $15 a piece, and they did sell for that price last year. They did well. Spent $2.75 on each one of those. These little salt and pepper shakers, I either bought them for $1.50 or $2 a piece. All of the paint, I don't really add on a ton for that, so I'm selling them for $7.50 each, or $15 for the set. So I figured that was kind of fair. This is the Snowdrop paint from Fusion. It's a brand new white they've come out with. The brightest white they now have has better coverage than the older picket fence. We're going to use Dark and Decrepit from DIY. And then you guys saw that little dauber thing from Dollar Tree. It's a makeup dauber. These are laser cut tags. They will be on my website, if not by the end of the week, next week. But you can see there, I do the letters. I do like a little engraving on the tag itself, so you can line them up and lay them out easier. You don't have to figure out where center is or figure out your spacing. It's all done in the computer program when I'm setting them up. So I'll have it so that you can order those tags. They run 6.5 inches long, 3 inches wide, and I sell them for $12 a piece. So that's with me putting them together. Honestly, I'm probably going to sell them for the same price if I sell them like as a kit for you to do yourself if you want to sit down and do them, because I don't really charge a whole lot for putting them together. So it's more just the cost of those supplies, which actually they're not that expensive to make either. We're going to use the Loctite super glue. This is what I recommend, the professional liquid, to glue these letters on. I have glued stuff on to things. You guys have watched me struggle to get them to stick initially, but once they are stuck, they're on there. They do not come off. I've had to pry them off before, and I've literally torn up both the thing I'm prying off and the layer underneath to get it up. So it is very good glue. It holds stuff on very well. And y'all can see I am just sitting there lining them up. The letters were already engraved. Even with the Dark and Decrepit painted on there, you can still see the outline of each of the letters. So it was super easy to line it up and just go ahead and lay them out and glue them down. Now we're going to use these 1-inch wooden beads, and they have a hole that runs completely through them. And I just like to use 3 on each tag. I sold these last year at the same craft festival fair. It's a church craft thing this weekend. And I may not even get to set up, guys, because it never rains in Phoenix. And this week is freezing cold and it has been pouring down rain. We actually had hail so thick over in East Valley today and yesterday. It looked like snow. Like, they showed videos. Look it up on YouTube. somewhere, find a video. It's interesting to see because you think Phoenix, it's hot, it's the desert. I mean, it hits 120 in July. But right now we have got a massive cold snap going on, and I know a lot of states around the United States do. But it's not even that cold. It just was cold enough for hail, and the hail was thick enough to look like snow. So this is what they look like once they're done and glued together and assembled. And these are one of those you can like put the little end to the twine inside your little stocking loop, and then you feed the tag back through that same loop, and you just kind of hook it on. So like last year I did each one of the 6 of ours. This year we've got a multitude more now with two new wives and 2 grandbabies added in. So now that's $1.50. I think it's $1.50 from Deseret Industries bucket. We're going to use the Gilded Figgy and Flourish transfers. Got 2 of those we're going to pull out. This little book it was like a buck. Then we're going to use the Trimmings 1 mold. You can see where my finger is pointing. We're going to use that specific trim. Rub and Buff Gold Leaf is the color. Type Bond Quick and Thick. And last but not least, the Jovi Air Dry Clay. There's links in the description box for everything you're seeing here. I've got a link to the Christmas release, which includes that Figgy and Flourish, and I still have plenty of those left. Guys, I pretty much still have a little bit of everything. I have a couple of stamps left of each of the stamps. I have several of these Figgy and Flourish. The Gilded transfers always sell a little slower for me. They do sell, but they take a little longer to get sold. The regular transfers, those things are selling like hotcakes. I'm sending those out by the dozens every day. And the molds, I am out of Snow Globe now. So if you need Snow Globe, you're going to have to find somebody else to get it from because IOD is sold out. It was limited release and I'm done. I don't have any more. So unfortunately, that's the one I've sold out of so far. I do have St. Nick. I stocked up on him. I still think he's a beautiful deep mold and we are going to use him again in the next couple of weeks. And I have a couple of the winter forage left. And I'm trying to remember which other ones. Oh, I have Victoriana. I've still got several of those left. And I've got Bibelots too. I still have Bibelots 1 from last year as well. And I have the tapers from last year. I still have stock from last year. They still had some available this year. So I stocked up on a couple more that I knew were selling. I was selling the angels and the Christmas ones really well. So I bought some more of those as well as the Bibelots to have for you guys. But they're all on the website. I checked my site, which is linked below, that's shop-ah.com. You can shop there. You can shop on Etsy if you're more comfortable on Etsy. Wherever you're shopping from, it's going to go out the same day if the mailman has not come. If he has, they'll go out the next day. And on the weekends, obviously, everything ships on Mondays. So I do the best I can to get everything out on Saturday, but my Saturday mail person comes whenever they feel like it. It's not the same one I have during the week. And sometimes they come like super early and I miss them. And sometimes they come at like 5, 6 o'clock at night and I'm able to get everybody's stuff out like for the whole weekend. So don't hesitate to send in orders any day of the week. I promise I'm filling orders daily. I hate for my website and for my Etsy website to have any orders sitting and waiting. I absolutely have got to get them filled. It drives me crazy. I don't know how other stockists wait for days at a time to ship stuff out. So just know if you're buying stuff from me, you are going to get it essentially as fast as the post office can get it from Phoenix to wherever you are. I do the very best I can to get it out same day. Usually I've had people actually comment to me on Etsy because I'll have the order come through and I'll have it ready to go back out within like 5 or 10 minutes. And they'll be like, whoa, are you really shipping it today? Or did you just do the label? And I'm like, nope, it's sitting on the porch waiting on the post office. So I do the best I can to get my stuff out, guys. It's a pet peeve of mine. It works out to your favor because it's there as fast as I can get it to you. And if you're local and I don't have something at Brass, or if you want to just meet up and pick up or whatever, I'm perfectly content doing that as well. So just email me. My email's in the link below or in the description box below. Email's honestly the fastest way to reach me. I check my emails all the time. There's my little ladybug vacuum trying to clean up after my mess I've made with this trimmings one mold. So y'all saw me roll the air dry clay into a little sausage and then flattened it out in there. And I honestly had way too much of it. So it took me a minute to kind of clean it up. But now you're watching, I'm using one of my box cutters and I'm just cutting off the ends to square it up. I didn't like the fact that you could see the title of the book. The contents of the book, the title, all of that totally do not apply to any of this craft. I just wanted a white book to use for decor, for staging, for whatever you want to call it. And I wanted it to be white background with the gold touches added on to go along with that white and gold bucket that we've already done. And y'all watched me do the figgy and flourish. They're going on much easier. I do have to say that. When I first tried the Gilded transfers, I really struggled. I don't know if I've just learned how to do them better over the years or if they've just maybe they've changed something about them and they're coming off of the carrier sheet easier. But I don't feel like I'm transferring a lot of the background part, if you know what I mean, like the stuff you don't want on there. I don't feel like I'm transferring as much of that as I used to. And I feel like the design comes off a lot easier. I know the first couple of times I used like curated signage and etiquettes and some of those other ones, I felt like I was really struggling to get the design off of the carrier sheet and just the design. I had a lot of like little random flecks of gold in different places, and I just don't see that as much. I have learned you don't press super hard with those. If you push really, really hard, you are going to push that background off, so you don't want to do that. But anyways, we are using Snowdrop from Fusion again. Now remember, Fusion paint is all in one. So it's a primer, it's a paint, and it's a top coat all in one. So once you paint this on there, 1, 2 coats, whatever. Now in this case, I only did one. You guys know I'm normally a 2-coat girl. I prefer 2 coats on everything because I just think it gives you a nicer finish. You see less paint strokes. It levels out way better. It's just, to me, it's just a necessity. We're going to go over this with a gold leaf rub and buff. I have dried this with a hairdryer. I left that part out because it's not important. And now I'm just putting a tiniest bit of rub and buff on my finger, and I wanted that design in that trimmings mold to come out and give you just a little glisten of gold here and there. So we're just going to go over it until my eyes are happy. And it takes just a couple of seconds. It's not, I mean, this is sped up, but honestly, it still didn't take that long to get it on there. I just kind of hit the high points you'll see in the reveal. Here's the little tree. I love this tree. I think it's really pretty. It's got a lot of, I'm a big fan of the negative. So like, what do you guys think? Do you prefer to have, when it's a solid design like this, do you prefer to see the design? Or do you like it like this, where there's negative space that creates the design? Because I think these are kind of cool. When you have the solid background, you'll see here in just a second what I'm talking about. The whole background is the solid gold, and the tree is the negative space that creates the design. I just think they're really pretty. And when they're all done, I mean, look at that. It's glistening. I had this outside. It was kind of an overcast day, but I still was getting a little bit of sun on them. But the Christmas tidings is really pretty on that white bucket. Now, the white bucket was $1.50 from Deseret Industries. The book was $1 from Dollar Tree. Say $1 per graphic, so that puts it at $2.50 and $2. The clay, maybe 50 cents to $1. So maybe we went over the $3 on the little book. Maybe not. Depends. I really don't think the tree is worth $1 either. Here's my update. I know this doesn't look like much, this 4-inch square with my CNC. You guys, I cut something with my CNC. I have owned that CNC for 4 years, and it's been sitting somewhere, and I finally cut something. So guess what? That means more to come for you guys. Now I get to cut bigger and better items. I can batch them out faster. They're going to be more perfect because I don't have to worry about human error kind of thing. If the graphic and the computer file is correct, then the item is going to come out correct. Isn't that amazing? I love it. I can't wait to play with it more. So now you guys are looking. I totally goofed. I forgot to push record. So in this step, you guys are seeing me painting the third of the three. Is it Ouy? I don't know what they're called. Some kind of yogurt, OUI, jars. I got them for free from a neighbor, so free. There's your first price point, 0. They have little 1/4-inch copper couplings from the plumbing section at Lowe's attached to the tops of them, and I used CA glue to attach those. So basically like super glue that has a shot of this instant drying agent that you just kind of squirt on there, and it immediately is dry, and it has the best attachment value. Like those things are not going to come off. So I attached the coupling to the bottom of the jar, turned it over to the bottom of the jar. The opening is down. And then I painted them with Paint Couture's pitch black chalk paint. And now I'm making a mess with the Paint Couture heavy metal antique silver. Love these antique. I love the silvers, the metals, the luxe. All of those are such beautiful paints from Paint Couture. But you do have to have a stir stick, some type of spatula, some type of something, because the metal is always going to be resting on the bottom. So if you do not stir this and stir this and stir this, it comes up as like a clump when you first start to stir it. Shaking it is not going to be enough. You actually have to stick a stir stick in and start to stir it to get this brilliant shimmer on this paint. And you can paint it without doing that, but you're not going to have that really pretty shiny metal look. I did see another crafter do these on Facebook. It's kind of where I got the idea. And it's probably been a year or more since I saw that video. I have no idea who it was. I wish I could give them credit. But they did do them in gold. So I wanted to do something a little different, which is why we did the antique silver. However, I will probably go back when I get a couple of more jars from neighbors who are kind enough to share them with me, because these jars genuinely look like little bells, and that's what we're making. I don't eat yogurt. I just never have. It's not my thing. I'll eat ice cream. Not a big yogurt fan. So, anyways, I would like to make some gold ones, because at my house I'm more of the golds, the twines, the reds, traditional, but farmhouse traditional, I think. I think that's how I'd rate it. I'm not really sure. But anyways, once we ran the twine through, just kind of hung them up at different levels so that they looked like dangling bells. And I actually have some that look like this. I think I got them from Hobby Lobby. But I prefer mine, honestly, because the other ones look kind of plasticky. So I like these. I think they look really pretty. The only thing is I have to be really careful with the dogs, the kids, this, that, and the other, that nobody clanks them together and breaks them. So if you're going to make something like this, be sure that you have them ready to go. Those little bells I'm also going to sell for $12.95 for the set, and they cost about $1.50 each to make because of the copper couplings. So now we're using the Melange paint. Spice of Life is the name of the color. It's from the Back from the Dead limited batch edition of paint. Yes, the little washboard was red. I got the washboard for $1.50. The little Noel transfer, let's say, cost $1. So this is another $2.50 craft. And when we're done with it, we're going to sell it for $14.95. We've got the wee jars that we're selling for $12.95. Y'all correct me in the comments below if I'm saying that incorrect. And then, the bucket, we're going to sell that for $12.95. And the little book, we're going to do for $9.95. Some of you asked for some of my pricing just to kind of get an idea of how I sell things. I don't feel like I probably could sell my stuff for more, but I'm one of those. I look at it and I think, what would I spend on this? Is that how you guys price? If you have a booth or you have a craft festival or something you do, leave a comment below. Do you go by the method of this is what I would pay for this? Or do you go in and do market research and sit down and figure out all of your expenses? I mean, honestly, all of these items are not costing $3. So normally they say triple your cost. Okay, well, my cost would end up hitting these at like $10 a piece. And some of them I feel like are worth more than that, even though they may not cost me that much to do. And some of that's just because I've been able to source my supplies for a good price. So I think this one turned out really cute. It was a very simple flip. I mean, you guys saw it. I just touched up the paint just to kind of brighten it up and use a different version of a red because I felt like the red that was on there had a little bit of like a purple hue to it. And I like this deeper, darker red. And then the Noel just ties in the silver from the washboard itself. So I thought this was really cute. It's pretty and it's something simple. And I'm going to list it for $14.95. Now, stay tuned. Look at what we got. Foster puppies. Oh my gosh, y'all. Husky puppies. We got 2 girls and a boy. We named them after the Frozen characters. So we have Olaf, Anna, and Elsa. And Elsa actually got adopted tonight. So amazingly enough, that was our evening tonight before I got in here to do my voiceover. And guys, we still have Jersey. We were worried about Jersey and how he was going to be with these puppies, but he protects them like they're his own. So it's been super cute to watch him taking care of them. Anyways, guys, be sure to like, comment, share. YouTube also now lets you hype a video. So if you could do that for me, that'd be awesome. Click subscribe, click on the bell so that you get a notice each time I post a video. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon.